Welcome to your 4 to 5, that time of the day again. I'm Eric, this is Chad, Monique, Lauren.
Hey everybody, if you're watching on air, at home, online, WFY News 2, and we're also on Fire Stick and Roku as well.
And boy, the temperature, what does it say? 72 degrees right now.
Nice.
I think it's
Wow.
the same
Weather.
temperature in this room.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
cooler just a little
Right.
bit.
We're going to get a forecast update from Monique in just a little bit, but we've got several stories that we are working on today. New at 4, President Biden is about to sign the Inflation Reduction Act into law. This is a live picture of him speaking right now at the White House. He has championed the bill, saying it will lower the cost of energy, prescription drugs, and other health care for American families while hiking taxes on large corporations.
The bill passed the Senate about a week ago and passed the House Friday. The bill signing will happen any moment now. Let's hear what the president just had to say about it.
We didn't look back, we looked forward, and today offers further proof that the soul of America is vibrant, the future of America is bright, and the promise of America is real and just beginning.
Again, this new law is wide-ranging, covering things like climate change, the price of medicine, and tax law for big corporations. WFY News 2's Ariel Cadet digs deeper into what exactly it covers.
We've seen inflation the highest it's been in 40 years.
We've seen high prices at the grocery store, at restaurants, and at the pump. Some prices have been dropping recently, but financial advisors say don't let your guard down.
We want to make sure that we're continuing to put money aside for the unexpected, usually 6 months of expenditures in a separate account, just to make sure that when the unexpected does occur, we're prepared for this.
The Inflation Reduction Act aims to continue that momentum and reshape the U.S. economy.
This legislation is historic, it's transformative.
Democrats say the bill will slash the country's carbon emissions by roughly 40% by next year. It allows Medicare to negotiate down high-priced prescription drugs and cap out-of-pocket drug costs. Experts say that could be life-changing for Medicare recipients.
When you have a limited income and you have to decide between food and insulin, sometimes people cut their doses down just to be able to do both. So the cap on insulin prices to $35 a month is going to make a big difference to probably about 3 million people that receive Medicare.
The bill would also impose a 15% minimum tax toward big corporations. House Republicans say they think the bill will only make the economy worse.
Democrats, more than any other majority in history, are addicted to spending other people's money, regardless of what we as a country can afford.
Now here is one more live look from D.C. The president just now signed the bill into law. We'll dig deeper at 5:30.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden was not at today's signing. She tested positive for COVID-19 today and is now isolating. As you might know, she is in South Carolina, where the Biden family had been on vacation. Of course, the president is now back at the White House. The White House says she started feeling cold-like symptoms last night and tested positive today. It comes weeks after the president tested positive. She is now taking Paxlovid, which is the same drug the president took.
A big update from Boom Supersonic on its plans to build new Overture jets. American Airlines agreed to buy 20 of the new high-speed jets made here at a new Greensboro factory. Boom announced back in January it would build a plant near PTI, building plans that can carry passengers at twice the speed of the current fastest commercial aircraft. American Airlines already paid a non-refundable deposit on the 20 Overture jets. The deal includes an option to buy 40 more. United Airlines was the first major airline to make a deal with Boom. They already agreed to buy 15 jets with an option to buy 35 more.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, that Archdale gas station at the center of a fuel leak is still closed today as investigators try to figure out what caused it. The leaks yesterday prompted nearby businesses to evacuate as a precaution. Firefighters found fuel in nearby storm drains, which eventually leaked to a stream. Investigators were testing tanks at the Circle K at Trindale and North Main. Nearby businesses are back open today, but the gas station remains closed. Greensboro police identified the woman killed in a shooting late last night. Officers say they found 32-year-old Ivana Wilkes with gunshot wounds on O'Brien Street just after 10 p.m. Police have not said anything about a suspect or a motive. You've got to see this video of a fiery crash in Charlotte this morning. Police say a tractor trailer carrying ground beef burst into flames on I-77 after hitting concrete barriers. The driver was able to make it out with only minor injuries. Firefighters worked for hours putting the flames out and cleaning up the crash. They don't expect all lanes to reopen for another hour. Actor Rob Lowe will be High Point University's commencement speaker next spring. Lowe's career has spanned decades as both an actor and an author. He's known for roles he played in St. Elmo's Fire, The West Wing, and Parks and Rec. High Point's graduation is set for May 6th. It'll be live streamed on the university's website.
All right, we got to talk about a forecast here, and boy, this is unusually cool for this time. I mean, we're almost, what, 10 plus degrees below normal.
It was one of those days when I woke up and I just did not want to get out the bed. It was felt like the fall,
like a fall day,
right?
yes.
Where you want to snuggle up with a blanket and get some hot chocolate maybe and just stay inside and watch a movie or read a good book. And those weather conditions continue even now for this 4 p.m. hour as we're looking at live look at Burlington. Our sky cam there, actually I think they switched over to High Point. And temperatures sitting at 75 as of now. Our satellite and radar showing you those clouds that have been sticking with us, especially for the western Piedmont, and some of which have spit out some light drizzles or some light rain across the area. And as we continue through tonight, that's just about the same story. Not expecting an active scene for our radar. Our futurecast shows it all right here. Clouds sticking with us across the central Piedmont. Again, some of that green that pops up on the map over the next couple of hours is showing you those light drizzles or even the light rain that could be spit out by some of those low stratus thick clouds that blanket the sky. As we go through the start of your Wednesday, sorry, I'm jumping ahead through the week. Your Wednesday morning, it says it right there in the top left-hand corner. We're going to get to see a little bit more sunshine tomorrow as compared to today. Now the temperatures, well, they'll just be around the same, but that sunshine, we'll get to see a little bit more of it, and hopefully that brightens up your midweek. As we go through your Thursday, again, more cloud cover, but then the humidity starts to ride on back in. Each day we get another weather ingredient. Tomorrow will be the sunshine, temperatures just about the same. Thursday, we're going to start to see more humidity building back. We're going to feel the humidity building back, and then we'll also have those storm chances increasing. And then this weekend looks as though it could get stormy. Our full 7-day right here, it looks nice because the temperatures are at least warming up just quite a bit into those around those mid-80s, which I'm looking forward to. Although it's cool and it gives us a break from the heat, we do need to be normal, and that includes temperatures in those mid to upper 80s. We'll be right back.
So summer break is winding down. A lot of Triad students will head back to class in a little less than 2 weeks.
Crazy to believe, right? Summer vacations have been around for decades, but where did the annual learning pause start? You might be surprised.
So why do kids get a summer vacation? You probably think you know the answer. Farmers, right? Nope. That's the story a lot of us heard growing up. Kids got the summer months off so they could help around the farm. But if you think about it, that doesn't really make sense. You don't plant or harvest during that time. So what's the real story? There is a kernel of truth to the helping out on the farm thing. According to historians, before the Civil War, kids in rural areas took off during the fall and spring, when farming actually happened, and went to school in the summer and winter. In cities, schools were open year-round and children just went when they could. Before the advent of air conditioning, those cities were sweltering during the summer, and wealthy residents weren't going to sweat in silence. So they took off for cooler climates, dragging their children with them. Eventually, middle-class families followed suit, and city schools were forced to close during the hottest months. By the late 19th century, reformers were pushing for a standardized school calendar, and urban districts decided to make summer vacation official. Rural schools soon followed suit. Now kids across the country enjoy a few months off. No farm work required.
Interesting.
That's really interesting, because I think we were on the same page about like, oh, well, it's because of farmers.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, well, surely, but then that does make sense. The things grow in the summer and they harvest in the fall.
I always enjoyed summer break, but did you have any family members that did the year-round school?
No.
I did not, no, but I know I have friends now whose kids are doing it, and they once when they're little, they don't know it, and then they get to be about in 3rd grade, and they're like, wait a minute, my other friends are,
You miss out on summer jobs, you
Yes.
can miss out on going to summer camp and things of that nature, but I do like that 2-month block right in the middle of the summer.
I loved it. The last week of school was always the best, because usually for us, by about Thursday and Friday, it's basically just a go to school and hang out with your friends and
Right,
have little
and
parties.
if you're like a senior, you know that you've either passed or failed at graduating or not.
You know
so-
where you're going to school already, so
Exactly,
you're just
right.
kind of like relaxing, you know, a couple finals.
But I know like the benefit for year-round is you don't have that learning loss that you do over the summertime, and some families like it because it keeps their kids out of trouble because they're not just kind of roaming the streets in June, July, and August.
I feel like so Bryce and Alex, my twins, did extended year programs, and so they would go back a little. Their summer was, I can't remember, don't quote me, I think it was like 5 weeks. It wasn't that long, and they noticed it when they got to be about 4th grade. So, wait a minute, I said, okay, you're going to a regular middle school.
Well, keeping it on the topic of summer, as students enjoy the last few days of summer and prepare for a new school year, health experts say mental health and wellness should be high on the back-to-school checklist. Jaron Doby is an outpatient mental health therapist with Navant Health. He says there is a melting pot of issues that may be on the minds of both parents and children ahead of returning to the classroom. This includes an ongoing pandemic, peer pressure, and a recent school shooting in Texas that claimed the lives of 19 elementary students and 2 teachers.
Also make sure that you're taking the time to talk honestly about your own feelings about these things. It's important so that children don't feel alone, right, on an island by themselves as it relates to their thoughts and feelings in their return back to school. Make sure as well that you are validating their feelings. It's very much so important to make sure that they know that they are heard and understood and that they know that they have a voice with you.
Doby says the number of young people seeking mental health services has soared since the start of the pandemic. He recommends parents actively keeping an eye out for any behavioral changes their children may be displaying.
Any kind of behavioral changes, inclusion in things or lack of inclusion in certain things, whether it is being argumentative or being silent, I mean, just different behavioral changes, emotional changes, just making sure that we're fully aware of this. And also just making sure at the end of the day that we're just seeking help and bonding together when necessary.
There are several free and local mental health resources available for children and adults in our area, including the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. For more details, just look for this story on our website, WFNYnews2.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, Facebook.
Hello.
Eric Chilton and I coming to you from underwater
There we
at
are.
the Greensboro Science Center. Do you see us in the back? Way back there in the right. You see it? We're waving right behind that big old shark.
Look at the shark.
Look at there's one of your kids, right?
Yeah, that is. I have so many, I don't know where they are, so that
Right.
might be one of them.
So what's new, Eric?
Well, let's see. I love this because it's like watching a desktop wallpaper, like it's a
Yes,
like an
absolutely.
animated screensaver back in the day.
Yep, I really enjoyed those. And you can just see the kids having fun there. And
Speaking of kids, I told you during the break that we were having dinner tonight because my twins have a birthday on the 31st of August, and they will be 20. So we're all going out for. I know, Tanya. Thank you.
what is that? What is that like knowing you're going to have, teenagers are done? 20-year-old.
And then Tyler is 7 months, something like that, away from being a teenager. So it's like
That's
the big.
crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. We did back to school clothes shopping. We're doing it with the twins in the next couple days, actually. And then Drew, my little girl, just loves that. Tyler could not care less because he's just a little boy. He's 12, but so he's about ready to start caring about that. But he can't say, he doesn't care. He told me, he said, just buy something for me. I don't have to go. I know.
Wow.
So yes, I'm the meteorologist, but you can be one too, and I'm gonna show you how. Just observe these temperatures. Notice how all across the southeast, they're in the heat, but not so much Atlanta. 87, the Triad 73, and all of the temperatures to the north and east are way cooler than they actually should be for this time of year. Now let's flip things over. This is a look at the winds high up in the atmosphere. There's this interesting shape here. We call this a trough, and beneath the trough is where there's cooler temperatures, and that's the case today. So as this sits over us, including the Triad and all of the northeast, we're stuck in this pattern of cooler weather. Unlike elsewhere where they're in the high pressure zone, or you can say under a high, where they're having warmer temperatures. So once this thing moves out the way, we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming with temperatures in the upper 80s and 90s. But take notice, this is Thursday, and this thing is still sitting over us. And as we head through the weekend, well, things start to shift a bit. We get that Bermuda high returning on back for the weekend, which is good news. As we head towards our Saturday and Sunday, if you've been wanting the summer-like weather, well, it's ushering its way back into the forecast. But not so much tomorrow. I showed you that trough still sitting with us. We have clouds sticking with us, a little bit more sunshine, staying cool with that light drizzle possible. But as we go over the next several days thereafter, we start to warm up back to more seasonable numbers. And you can see that here on the 7-day.
Here's a question for you. What do you get when you merge focus and potential? The answer is a powerful new beginning, as Coach Lamont explains in today's U-Day moment.
Today we are going to awaken your focus potential. Number one, focus on your strong points. There are areas in life which you excel. There are areas in life where you don't perform your best. Now tap into your strong areas and allow yourself room to grow. Number two, focus on today. Embrace an attitude that yesterday is over and ended at 11:59 p.m. It doesn't matter whether yesterday was good or bad. It happened. Yesterday should never have enough power to hold you captive today. And number three, focus on your contribution. The best version of you will emerge when you decide to use your potential to make the world a better place. A better world is a world where you have excelling power because you have caused others to excel. Awaken your focus today. Life is waiting. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
This reminds me of a saying that one of my mentors in news used to say to me. She used to always go, do better the next day. Just do better the next day. Like
No
if
matter
I
what.
fumbled on a live shot or maybe I missed a deadline or something, I would be so critical of myself and beat up on myself. And she would say, just do better the next day. You can't take it back, you can't do it over, but just learn from it and perform better the next day. And you can really apply that to any aspect of your life.
It is true. And I also feel like like you said, if you hang on to that, it just holds you down.
This eats away at you.
It's like a weight on you, and you just have to let it go and go, I gotta start over again tomorrow.
I think it can work for both the good and the bad that happened yesterday, right? Like, so it's easy to look back on yesterday when you made mistakes, but even when you had like a really good day yesterday, like don't rest on your laurels, because today's another day and you've got to recreate what you just did yesterday.
And like they say, you're only as good as your last story. You're only as good as your last live shot. So you want to continue to just keep building on, you know, the groundwork that you put down.
Well, what I want to do is call Coach Lamont and say, replace your music, because it sounds to me like I want some organ church music behind him.
I was thinking that too.
That's what I think it would go really well with, right?
We need to have him back on live again. Remember when Stacy left?
Yes, I absolutely love that. When he came into the Weather Garden and you did the one-on-one with him, he just has so much wisdom and knowledge, and you know, you could really learn a lot from his experiences.
And when you have more time than just that segment that he does, he was telling us everything about his personal. He didn't. Everything's out there. You know, he would tell you everything he went through, the bad times, the good times, and it was really revealing. I loved it.
We'll have to make that happen.
Did you also ask him whether that was actually his house, or does he use like stage houses?
It's both.
Beautiful.
It's both.
He told me. I asked him that. He said, no, some of those are my house, and some are model homes that he'll get permission to go in and do that.
Makes sense. Because there's some nice homes there.
Very much so.
But it looks like different.
The house looks bigger and bigger every time we interview him. He's been hanging out at the coffee shop a lot lately too.
I said, how many houses do you have? Then he told me the truth. We'll be back.
Oh, the Girl Scouts are getting ready to launch another new cookie. Think a Thin Mint, but with a fruit-filled twist. It's called the Raspberry Rally. It looks just like a Thin Mint, but instead of a minty filling, it's a crispy cookie infused with raspberry flavor and dipped in chocolate. They are calling it a sister cookie to the Thin Mint. It'll be available next year, but here's the catch. It's only online. The company says you'll need to buy from a Girl Scout with an online store as a way to help them build new skills and learn e-commerce business plans.
So my opinion of this has changed. When I read the script, I was picturing something different in my mind, but actually seeing that video, it looks really good. It reminds me of the Valentine's Day candy that you get, and you get the fruit flavored cream.
Where it's just like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You bite into it and it's probably gross, but you might get a good one.
You're like, but that
You
reminds
put the
me
half-bit
of
one back for the next person.
I hope it's a cream and not like the fruity, like, gel type,
Gel, and that's what I was thinking in my mind. But
Yeah.
when I looked at that, I'm like, oh, it's the creamy kind, like the kind in the Valentine's Day box.
It looks like it's more crunchy, doesn't it?
Yeah, because here's what
I
it
don't
says:
want
a
the
crispy
crunchy.
cookie infused with raspberry flavor.
Oh, so not a creamy
so it's not a
jelly.
cream. So maybe my opinions will stay the same.
jelly.
I mean, like, no, I said not like a gel or a...
Sorry,
It's a raspberry jelly-filled donut.
The jelly
Gross.
texture just.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. It seems kind of artificial.
Yeah.
to me.
I don't like
I mean, it is a Girl Scout
raspberry.
cookie. I mean,
Yeah.
literally everything is artificial.
Beyond this flavor, though, what is your favorite flavor?
I like the tagalongs, the peanut butter cup ones, because it reminds me of a Reese's cup.
Chocolate peanut butter one. Those are mine.
Which one? Chocolate peanut butter?
Yeah, I asked a lot of people on Facebook too. They have similar answers.
Tagalong, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Adventurefuls, the last new one. It was now has moved
Those
up into my
were
number
good.
one. We tried them.
I like the shortbread.
I do
Those
too.
are good. You can't go wrong with the
No,
shortbread.
I do too, and people make fun of me.
No, those are perfect. When in doubt,
love
get
them.
the shortbread cookie.
But how many do you eat in one sitting?
The whole
Well,
row.
I could, if I wanted to.
I allow 2 at a time.
Oh, so you follow the
And by at
instructions
a
on
time,
the back.
by the time I mean stack them.
Okay.
That's right. Perfect.
Cookie sandwich.
Finally, we got our food story in. We'll be right back.
Always got to talk about food.
Always.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I'm in the bathroom. Hold on, I'm leaving out. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Welcome to the 4 to 5. Let's go down the line. Chad.
Hello.
Eric.
Monique.
And I'm Lauren.
Nice.
Nice to meet you.
It's like a bad middle school play. Just
I thought you were gonna strut around a little bit. You look like you were gonna strut.
the
Oh,
wall.
strut?
Yeah.
You do the wall.
Strut like you mean it.
Very nice.
Be a star. It's not.
What is
Shoulder's
happening?
back. Shoulder's back.
We are really glad that you are here today. Thanks for joining us on air,
Shoulder's
online,
back.
the News 2 app, Fire Stick, Roku. You can pretty much watch us anywhere these days.
And as you can see, we like to have a lot of fun, and we're having a lot of fun online as well. So if you're watching us on Facebook, chime in the chats. We love to hear from you. Well, let's get to today's headlines. We start with an issue still being felt every day in the workforce. We're talking about a worker shortage. The need for workers is being felt in all types of fields.
Yeah, school systems are looking to hire teachers and bus drivers. Hospitals need more nurses, and airlines need more trained pilots to fly their planes.
If you've gone out to eat recently, you know restaurants are in need of workers, staffing, and COVID-19 issues just forced Hops Burgers to close down in Winston-Salem.
WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey heard firsthand the hiring challenges two local restaurants are facing.
For 2+ years, locally owned and operated restaurants have struggled to maintain the staff needed to run as efficiently as possible. And for two of the more popular spots in Greensboro, they're no exception.
I don't think it's any surprise to anybody in today's sort of economic climate that we all are experiencing staffing issues, and we're no different.
We've seen all over the Triad, local small businesses are in need of more hands on deck.
The past 2 years, it's been a little interesting with like COVID and all that stuff, but I actually started as a server and kind of took that opportunity to work my way up.
Whether it be your favorite fast food spot or an award-winning upscale eatery, help is still needed.
Because we got a lot of kids going back to school, so that changes availability, and just always looking for good people, you know, positive energy.
We are hiring for a variety of positions throughout our hotels and restaurants, but for the restaurant in particular, we really need to rebuild our events team, so banquet events such as weddings and dinners.
And as college students return to Greensboro, the potential rush of business is exciting, but the potential for help coming is even more anticipated.
It's always interesting to see like volume pick up during the summer. There's a slight drop off, and then like volume will pick back up when college kids come back around.
And if you're currently looking for employment and have any background in the restaurant business, both Printworks Bistro and Taco Mama would love to hear from you.
Let's get with some of your headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. President Joe Biden signed the new Inflation Reduction Act into law. The White House championed the bill, saying it will lower the cost of energy, prescription drugs, and other health care for American families, while hiking taxes on large corporations. The bill passed the Senate about a week ago and passed the House Friday, despite Republicans arguing it does nothing to help inflation. American Airlines agreed to buy 20 Boom supersonic high-speed Overture jets made here at a new Greensboro factory. The airline already put down a deposit and also agreed to an option to potentially buy 40 more. United was the first airline to make a deal with Boom. Boom Supersonic announced the new plant at PTI in January. It's expecting to start making the planes in 2025, with passengers flying by 2029. An important recall for families with a new baby carrier. 2 million Mamaru swings and 220,000 Rockaroo rockers are now recalled. A recall notice says one baby died and another bruised its neck after getting tangled in a strap hanging under the seat. The recall involves rockers sold at Target, Bye Bye Baby, and online. This is dating back to 2010. We have more information on this recall on our website, WFMYnews2.com. And fans flocked to Graceland this week to pay tribute to the King. Today marks 45 years since Elvis Presley died suddenly. He was just 42 when he died from heart failure in 1977. Priscilla Presley was at a vigil for her ex-husband last night and thanked fans for coming. The Panthers are on the road holding joint practices with the New England Patriots as they head into another preseason week. Things were tense with 2 brief fights reported on the field. Both head coaches say players involved were taken out of practice and things calmed down and continued. The Panthers and Patriots will have another joint practice tomorrow and then have a day off before Friday's preseason game.
Every penny counts at the grocery store these days. Some people might be looking to swap out name brands for generics to save some money. We wanted to look specifically at disinfectants. Do you get what you pay for? WFMY News 2's Megan Malera scrubbed through the research to verify.
COVID, monkeypox, common colds, and the flu. Couple all of those health threats of the moment with back to school, and household disinfectants are hot commodities. So let's wipe through the fiction with this question from Pearl. Verify. Disinfectant Lysol spray and Lysol or Clorox wipes, are they better for use than store brands? Well, my sources for this are Dr. Christopher Uhl, Wake Forest Baptist Health infectious disease expert, and the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. When we first asked Dr. Uhl about this at the start of the pandemic, he explained, quote, for most purposes, any of the household disinfectants are sufficient, whether they are name brand or a generic. Shoppers should look to buy products with an EPA registration number on the label. EPA registration means scientists have evaluated the ingredients in a product for health hazards. How do you know if a disinfectant is EPA registered? You have to look very closely at the label. For example, here's the back of my Walmart brand of Lysol spray called Great Value. In the bottom of the label in very tiny writing is the EPA number. In this case, 11525, followed by a series of other numbers. If you don't want to strain your eyes at the store looking for that, there's an easier way. Use the EPA website search tool. Here's the page for Lysol. You can see all of the more than 1,500 registered Lysol products and their codes. Searching Great Value, the generic, you can find its 42 disinfecting products that are EPA registered. The products range from wipes to sprays. So in conclusion, yes, you can use name brand or generic wipes, sprays. You don't have to spend a fortune, but make sure the disinfectants are EPA registered. The EPA classifies both monkeypox and COVID as EVPs, emerging viral pathogens. Any registration number on List Q can fight against both of them. I've linked you to the search tool on WFMYnews2.com. Search the keyword disinfectant. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Happy Tuesday! I know you love the weather outside, or maybe not, but as you look across the area, everyone's experiencing just about the same thing. Thick stratus clouds blanketing the sky, literally acting like a blanket, so much so that the sun can't do its thing and warm us up. And that's why the temperature in the bottom corner of your screen is staying in the 70s. It's cool one out there. I tried something different today, finding words to describe the weather over the next couple of days. So chilly today, cool tomorrow, maybe a little bit more sunshine, and this weekend, I know a lot of folks like to plan ahead for the weekend, humid again with storms. So this is owed to this stationary front, kind of cold front situation settled well down to the south of us. It's going to be lingering across the southeast. As it kind of takes this shift further northward, that's when weather will change. But as long as we stay on the northern side of the front, we're on the cool side of the front, meaning we won't be feeling the heat. And so if that's the story for the next couple of days, well, we'll be sticking in the 70s and low 80s across the area. And that's going to be the case. But the dew points, well, those are coming on back. That humidity, we're going to feel it as we go through the weekend and start to next week. We get those dew points back in the 70s, not the 60s or the 50s, like what we've been feeling over the last couple of days. And you will feel the difference. Those storm chances also will be increasing across the area. Guys, temperatures are in the 70s today. This time, this specific day last year, it was 86 degrees and there were a few storms across the area. But today, it's not that story.
It's almost like it's like early October high temperatures. It's kind of what we're seeing now. So we're what, a month and a half ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
roughly.
I think people are going to be surprised when I mean they're coming back, right? Like it has to, right?
Yeah.
Will the 90s come back? I mean, is that something that we should expect to see?
I mean, in the next week or so. It's funny on Twitter, people talk about the seasons of North Carolina,
right.
And this is like the fake fall.
Yep.
And so then when we jump back to summer, it will be in the next week or so, or hopefully. And then everybody will talk about how it's summer again, and North Carolina has crazy weather. You know,
and then
it's
it's going to change. I'm just going to take advantage of it today. It feels great. I can't wait to take a nice, cool walk after work because usually around that time it's sticky, it's hot,
yes,
and you know, it's nasty. But I'm excited about that.
By mid-August, I'm kind of finished with 90s. Like I'm ready for fall by the time, right about now.
I'm ready now.
Yeah, mentally I'm kind of like, yeah.
This is teasing me.
I'd like some low 80s, upper 70s, please.
I had a conversation with a friend over the weekend. She said, I'm so excited, it's almost candle season. I said, what is candle season?
I blow candles year round.
Okay, well,
my wife
she was just excited. Yeah, she's like going to shop for them now because she wants to get like the best flavors for fall.
Yes.
So
when you have people over your house in the fall season, you want it to smell good. Please make your house smell good when we come over in the fall.
If you ever leave your house or apartment for like a week's vacation, you come back, when you walk in, you're like, oh, this is what my house smells like.
I
to
know,
everybody
that is
else.
a true thing.
So true.
Yeah.
There's got to be a name for it. We'll find out what it is. We're coming back right after this. I couldn't be more excited to say that college football season will be here before we know it. You know it's almost time when the preseason AP Top 25 poll is now out.
And get this, 2 North Carolina teams are on that list. NC State sits at number 13. It's the first time since 2003 the Wolfpack has been ranked in a preseason poll. It also matches their best preseason ranking. NC State was ranked 13th back in 1975. The Wolfpack opens the season September 3rd at East Carolina.
Wake Forest also made the list this year. They're number 22. It's the first time they've been on a preseason ranking list since 2008. The Deacons host VMI for their season opener on September 1st.
And you know, a big part of going to college games, it's basically the overall fan experience, the things happening around the periphery of the big event. Well, the folks at Wake Forest University have it all covered. I spoke with Daniel Atkins with Wake to clue us in on what the fan experience will be like this year for their fall sports. All right, Daniel, let's get right into it. I mean, soccer's right around the corner, but the fan experience, that's what everybody wants to know about.
Yeah, man, we have a truly incredible fan experience here at Spry. This venue, for one, is absolutely amazing. The hill is actually for free, and it's awesome to see all of the fans that come out and sit up on the hill. But in the back here, we have inflatables for kids. There's cornhole. We have a giveaway every single game. Deacon brew for sale. We have concessions are open every single game, and it's truly fun to watch all the kids run back and forth. The competition and play of itself, our 2 coaches for both programs do an incredible job, nationally ranked every single year. So the quality of play that you're getting is truly remarkable, and then seats are affordable.
All All right, Daniel, two birds with one stone now. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, just behind us is Kentner Stadium, our field hockey program. A free event, honestly, one of my favorite sporting events here at Wake. When I went to the first event last year, I was blown away by how physical the sport is, by the sound of the sticks hitting the ball. It truly is an incredible sport. And just behind, we have all different types of activities for kids, inflatables, giveaways, different types of games. But most of the time, they just love running up and down the stairs here.
That's what they do. All right, and then over here, is this volleyball?
Yeah, Reynolds Gymnasium is volleyball, another free event. What I love about volleyball is how fast and quick points are scored, and every time a point is scored, there's a lot of cheering, and so the little ones are constantly staying entertained. They're in the stands, their attention span may go elsewhere, and then a point's scored, and they can't help but look up and see what's going on.
And you said something earlier, you said a point is scored how often?
Like every 15 to 30 seconds.
That's incredible. All right, Daniel, this is the big daddy right here. So football's right around the corner. And what's the fan experience like in this venue?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the granddaddy of them all. We play in 2 weeks, September 1st, 2 weeks from Thursday. To me, this venue in Wake Forest football, if you're that family that has said, we need to go to a Wake Forest game, and we never have, opening night is one of the best options of the whole year. And so out here in this space, right here next to the statue, we have live music. We have a huge big screen TV if you want to come early, drink a beer, get some food from a food truck, let the kids jump on the inflatables, do some shopping, watch other games. This entire space out here on game day is really activated really well. We take a lot of pride in providing a world-class experience for those that come here, so we're really excited about it.
You know, one of the things he said that I thought was interesting, he said, take your kids to volleyball. And I said, why? Because first of all, it's free. And he said, second of all, they score every 15 to 30 seconds, so it keeps kids' attention when you bring them to the games.
So they're looking back and forth.
Yeah.
They have incredible facilities out at Wake Forest, which is no surprise. I mean, like, that school is just top notch. Unfortunately, I have never been to a football game there. I've been in their facility, but never to a game. But I hear it's quite an experience.
I would say definitely go to they have a beautiful stadium, and they do a lot of, like he said, 3 hours ahead of kickoff, they have all the tailgating and stuff going on. And just a quick thing I've never heard of before, you can buy a tailgate package. So if you don't want to bring anything, they literally, I mean, I'm sure it's probably not cheap, but you get a tent, a TV, and food and stuff all out in front of I wouldn't go in the stadium.
So is this for the whole season, or is this just like if you want to?
Every home game.
That might be worth it if you're like a diehard fan.
You have to have a group probably for the cost.
Your kids are already, you know, graduated from college.
That'd be fun.
That's something that you could definitely do.
I love that they're starting to do concerts now at the stadium too. Because didn't they have? Who did they just have recently?
Oh my gosh, you had to ask.
Paul McCartney.
Yes, Paul. That's right.
Yes, because they did the announcement about that.
But yes, I love when stadiums kind of reuse their stadium.
I saw Billy Joel there like 3 years ago. It was phenomenal.
How was that?
That was awesome. He's getting older.
Well, we all are.
But he's doing
this. Do you know that this is the oldest you have ever been?
It is.
Right now.
Every second we're getting older.
Right.
Now I'm depressed. We'll be right back.
It sure feels great outside today. The cloudy skies keeping things cool for what would typically be a hot August day. It's a great day to get outside and enjoy the weather. It might even make you feel more relaxed. A new study found people who get out and enjoy nature and it smells are more relaxed. The study found many associated nature and fresh air with childhood memories, one that made them relax. So quite literally, stop and smell the roses. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what were you doing when you felt the most relaxed lately? Kathy Mann says sitting on the patio at 6 a.m., listening to the birds and doing crossword puzzles. Danny Burke says fishing after acupuncture or a good massage. And then Aline Grover wrote drinking coffee and watching TV in bed. Rachel Jones says binge watching reality TV. That is one of my guilty pleasures as well.
Does that make you feel relaxed?
It does.
That doesn't relax me.
We report, all these headlines, death, destruction, COVID, all that kind of stuff. So it's good to just escape and watch people bicker at a dinner table, throw drinks.
About all those things.
Real Housewives.
You talk to my man, like all that kind of stuff. It's just, to me, it's a good detox.
You just said Real Housewives.
Yes.
Without saying it, yes. For me, I guess the most relaxed recently was our beach trip, and we would sit on that back porch and watch the ocean at night. I love that.
I love nature as well. When I went to a Reiki master kind of recently, she encouraged me that nature is my thing. She told me, she was like, nature is your thing. Whenever you feel, just go out and enjoy the nature. And so that's what I try to do, but it's been so hot. I'm like, the outdoors.
Have you tried the Greenway yet, taking a walk?
Yeah,
I love that. Yes. When I first moved here, that was one of the first things that I tried, and I loved it.
How does Chad relax?
I relax. I like the outdoor stuff too. My favorite, when you can go up like Hanging Rock, Grandfather Mountain.
Nice.
I love doing those kinds of hikes. It's strenuous, you're getting a workout, but I just love the smell of fresh air.
Have you done the Mile High Swinging Bridge?
Yes, wild.
That's crazy, isn't
Yep.
it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can get some really fresh air if you go to a rainforest. Have you ever been to a rainforest?
I have.
Yeah, I've been to one in Puerto Rico, and after it rains, it smells so
Oh my
good,
gosh.
and the air is so pure. The water is fresh water.
Some of us have not been to a rainforest.
No.
I studied abroad in St.
Can't
Kitts
hide
and
money.
Nevis when I was in college, and we went through a rainforest. It was very refreshing.
All right, speaking of rain.
Well, today is not like a rainforest because there's no humidity. That's something that you need as a key ingredient to be in a rainforest. Feels very tropical. Today feels more like the Northeast. Hey, you've ever been to New York City? Well, that's what it kind of feels like in the fall. Clouds sticking with us. A little bit of those clouds are spitting out some rainfall across the area. And our futurecast showing the peaks of sunshine that we'll be getting for the early part of your Wednesday. So right here, where it's just green and we're not seeing that white covering over it, that's showing you where you'll get more sunshine. And so for your Wednesday, we'll get a little bit more peaks of sunshine. Some of those clouds will still spit out possibly a light shower or two, but it won't be a complete washout of a day. And I don't expect it to be as gray as today. Temperatures warming up day by day, and through the weekend, we're getting back around those mid to upper 80s.
Days and get tested more regularly. He recently recovered from a rebound case of COVID. He left isolation last week.
Hi. Wow, I just sneezed. And Lauren had a very anchory voice just there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And Biden ran late, so I was just like,
I am so sorry.
okay, Julie. I was going to. He never asked me either, so I hoped he asked.
I Hold on. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lauren Coleman talking like this at the thing in the newscast.
I don't remember, and I said,
This is the area where Boom Supersonic will be assembled, tested, this and
Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Hi there, it's time for My 2 Cents. Now, you may remember a few weeks ago I did a My 2 Cents on my 3 sons. I have 4 kids, my youngest is a girl, but my older 3 were talking to me one night and they said, and I'll never forget this as long as I live, quote, "The greatest gift you have ever or will ever give us is your time and attention." And it really made me think. So the twins wanted to do something with just me for a change. We never get that time. So we did it. After that discussion, I realized how important it is. So off we go to Wilmington last weekend. Had so much fun together. We did a riverboat cruise along the Cape Fear River. We had lots of time to talk and laugh and sightsee and see the beautiful sunsets and just talk about it. You know, we even tapped into the little boy and all men when we went past one of these huge cargo ships and we watched to see how they unload those giant tractor trailers from the cargo ship. Sounds silly, but for a bunch of guys who probably inside, aren't we all about 9 years old men when it comes to big boy toys like that? It was a bonding trip, and it meant the world to me. And at the end of it, it was like I felt this release, like the teapot had been vented, and we just got a lot of that out of our system and realized just how important it really is to connect on a level when you don't have distractions, when the day-to-day life things aren't pulling you in 17 different directions. And it was just me and my older 2 twins together. Tyler and I do stuff together and go to Carolina games, but this was something for just the twins and I. They're growing up, in case you don't know, they'll be 20 in about a few weeks, so I need to do as many of these as possible before life pulls them in 10 different directions. But that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
The future of flight in the Triad keeps taking off.
Another major airline put an order to buy jets from Boom Supersonic. They'll be manufactured at the Piedmont Triad International Airport.
WFMY News 2's Hunter Funk joins us live from the site and explains the details.